Hey guys, I'm Sean McAnally.
John Hall.
Hey, today we're going to talk about the gut. We're going to talk about the gut-brain axis a little bit and just how important the gut is when it comes to all the other organs or systems of the body. And Dr. Hall, he's really an expert on it. He'll tell you he's not, but he is. He is.
I don't know if anybody's an expert on it.
Well,
it's new information. It's new science.
let's just say in relation.
Yeah.
In relation to many other people.
The average guy on the street, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Dr. Hall, talk to us about the gut and how important it is that it's healthy, the microbiome are in check, and stuff like that.
Well, one of the things, if you do much research, what you're going to find out, you're going to see the word axis, A-X-I-S. Mm-hmm. And you're going to see the word gut in front of that word, and then you're going to see just about everything else behind it. Mm-hmm. The gut, in between, the gut-brain axis, and the gut-mouth, and there's a gut-skin axis. You think of an organ system, and they pretty much found an axis between that organ system and the gut. The health of the GI tract is critical, and is for everything. And part of it is because it's such a major part of the immune system, so that makes sense. But the gut, the health of the gut is very important for everything. And it basically boils down to mostly is the microbiome, the mostly bacteria, but the microbial content. Mostly bacteria, there are also viruses and there are other things in there, and fungus, but mostly bacterial species that are critical to the health of the whole body and all that. So one of the things that's interesting, and I mentioned this, you know about it, you learn this when you're in school, but you don't think too much about it, and you don't think about other people not thinking about it. But one of the things that's interesting is the alimentary canal, from the mouth all the way through, is considered external. It's an external organ, just like the skin and everything else, which surprises people.
It does.
Because we think it's internal, but it's an external organ because it's just an extension of everything. I mean, the way I always try to explain it, it's not a perfect example. You have those long balloons, and if you were able to stick your finger through there, well, and if it stayed there, well, it's inside but it's really part of the outside of the balloon.
Yes. From one opening to the other.
Yeah,
and as a dentist, which opening's cleaner?
Well, that's what I always joked about people. I always said, the difference between dentists and gastroenterologists is that dentists chose to work on the really filthy end. So, and I'm not joking. Yeah. I told that to my gastroenterologist, and he just, yeah, you're right. So the thing, and when you think about it, you have the skin and you have the lip, and then it's the mucosa of the mouth, and it just keeps on going and all that. But it's really, it's external. It's exposed to everything on the outside. So think about it. You're exposed to water. You can grab some food. You can get food all over you, but you swallow the food, it's inside. That carrot doesn't go straight to the muscle or to it has to be broken down to component parts and then absorbed through the wall of the GI tract and then get into the bloodstream. Then it goes to the muscle and all that because what's internal is supplied by the blood. That's what we think of in healthcare, and that's the internal part of the body. The external part is everything else. So it's exposed. So the alimentary canal is exposed to the external, to food, water, and another thing, a way to think of it is the bacterial. We just talked about the microbiome. The biggest single amount of bacteria in our body is in the GI tract. In fact, it's considered a separate organ. Functionally, the bacterial colonies of the GI tract are considered a separate organ.
From the GI tract itself?
Yeah, it's a separate organ. Functionally, it's a separate organ.
Yeah.
It's so important. I'm going to knock that over. I know myself well enough.
That's all right. This is a hard surface. We'll drive it.
Yeah, it won't hurt anything. Anyway, think about the skin has huge amount of bacteria, microbes, second only to the GI tract. And the mouth does too, but it's nasty. It's got a lot of stuff, but it's not like the skin. But anyway, the bacteria and all the microbes, they're on the external part of the body. They're on the outside. They're on the mouth, which is exposed to the outside, and the alimentary. You get bacteria in the bloodstream, you got problems.
Yeah.
You know, you get septicemia, you got problems. You get, and people get fungal infections, septic fungal infections, and then systemic. You got serious problems because the internal
Well, it's
part of the
life-threatening.
body isn't supposed to have bacteria. It's like what?
Life threatening.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
life. Yes, it is. And so that's another telltale sign that we're talking about the external part of the body is because bacteria are supposed to be there. And there are good bacteria for the skin, there's bad bacteria, and it tends to be the bacteria that help keep the skin healthy, help with the moisture content. There's good bacteria in the mouth that help break down food and also help protect the teeth and the other tissues of the mouth. And then there's good bacteria in the GI tract.
That's what I was going to say, and and that really makes sense what you said about the bottom being cleaner than the mouth, because the good bacteria overpower the bad bacteria and get rid of it.
And I haven't ever read this. I just thought about this. I'm not sure that anything's really bad.
Yeah.
It basically boils down to the ratios.
Yeah, it's too much of it.
I mean, because I have a feeling as we learn more and more that what we consider the bad bacteria, they do things too that are important. But the problem is if they get out of proportion and they overwhelm what we consider the good bacteria. So I'm not sure it's really good versus bad. It's just different species doing it, and it's out of balance. And there's got to be a balance, just like anything else. I mean, food's good, but you still need a certain ratio of certain different nutrients and all that. It's not because some's bad and some's good. Some can be bad, obviously. But anyway, that's just me. I haven't read that anywhere. I just think that's probably what it is.
It really makes sense.
But anyway, so the alimentary canal, GI tract is really external. So another thing about external is their barrier. The skin's a barrier. It helps protect and keep moisture in and also moisture out, excess moisture out, but it keeps bacteria and things out. We have things that we have in the mouth, and there are chemical barriers and there are physical barriers made up of cells and things. GI tract, one of the things we talk about is the barrier. And then some things, what happens, we get chronic inflammation and then the barrier breaks down and then bad stuff gets into the bloodstream, bacteria, toxins, things and other nutrients that aren't supposed to. That's when we have problems. So external tissues have barriers to protect the internal. So anyway, it's just an interesting concept that most people don't think about or aren't aware of, but the GI tract is external. It's inside. It's in there, but it's an external organ and all that, and it has all these. So one of the big things is the microbiome, and that's important. So when you talk about the gut-brain axis, and boy, that is a big deal in research. For the brain to be healthy, just like every other part of the body, the GI tract has to be healthy, and the microbial population needs to be healthy.
I mean, you can see that there's no reason in why you're nervous about something. You feel it in your stomach.
That's exactly right.
That tells you right there they're connected.
Well, and now and I say we. I'm reading what they have learned. So when I say we, I haven't learned anything except what I've read other people that are smarter than I am figure out. But we now recognize another nervous system, the enteric nervous system. So we had what we considered the central nervous system and the peripheral nerves and all. Then we had the autonomic nervous system, and we always thought of it as the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Well, now there's the third part of the autonomic, the enteric, which is they're actually nerve, and the vagus nerve, which is which is one of the cranial nerves, or there's a pair of them. That's a big part of the enteric nervous system that controls everything. It controls basically everything, all the way down to the gut and the heart and everything. I mean, the vagus nerve innervates pretty much everything from the throat all the way down.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, but there are nerves that are, and there are nerves that are in the cells of the GI tract, the epithelial cells. And they're attached and all. And so when they talk, that gut feeling really is a gut feeling. It's really a nervous thing, and there's something to it more than just feeling nervous, and it's affecting the way you're metabolizing food.
Well, and
breaking down
that
food.
reminds me of a conversation I had with a doctor of psychiatry.
Yeah.
He was telling me, he said a lot of people, they think, hey, I'm nervous about something. Now I get this nervous feeling in my stomach. He said, but what they don't understand is sometimes it's backwards.
That's
Sometimes that gut microbiome's off, and the stomach just doesn't feel right, and then the brain comes up with some reason to be nervous.
Now they're
like it's a backward, a
They're
back and
treating
forth
some
deal.
of those conditions that they used to treat with psychotropic drugs. Now they're addressing the GI tract.
Yeah.
Psychiatrists
Yeah.
are giving recommendations that normally you would think a gastroenterologist would.
Right.
But that's because it's a major part of the
It
nervous
is,
system,
and
and it affects the brain.
and we always talk about foods and things. I mean, there's kefir,
Yep.
great friendly bacteria,
Yeah.
good supply of it.
Yeah.
There's yogurts. There's even as far as I know you end up cooking this, but making sourdough bread.
Yeah.
Having those bacteria that break that down and start digesting that wheat, make it easier on us. Those things. There's many things and then feeding those bacteria, feeding them vegetables.
prebiotics.
It's funny, but like when you look at the names of those bacteria, and you'll see lactobacillus. Okay, so that thing likes to eat lactose, and there's a bunch of different ones of those. So so that's why it works really good in milk, like yogurts, kefir, things like that. And then you see your fructose. Okay, so it likes fructose. Well, that's the sugar in fruit. So to feed those things, we need a healthy, balanced diet of all of those things.
That's right. And I thought of something that was, I'm sure it was fascinating, but now I lost it. So
I'm sorry, I
keep on
distracted
talking.
you.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
Keep on talking. You got something to talk about.
Guys, I think this is probably good enough for now, and we don't want to lose your attention, but we hope that you learned something from this, and just think about it like that. Keep the gut healthy. All the other systems are going to like it, and you're just going to feel better.
And it's good for your brain health.
It is.
It's critical for your brain health, and there's a lot of studies that they're seeing more and more of that all the time. So keeping that GI tract healthy is good for everything.
That's right.
It's good for everything.
Hey guys, until next time, I'm Sean McAnally,
John Hall.
and this is For the Health of It.